Welcome to a Billy Wellness Show. This evening we gather to conversate about the aftermath of Black Lives Matter. We have a community leader here to speak on different aspects of the matter. I have Linda, and also I have Tyler, Felicia, and my co-host Jenny and my buddy Dusty. Let's start off with Linda. Tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself.
I'm Linda Reed. I live in the Cambodia town area, born and raised. Part of my full-time job, I am a security patrol guard or officer Monday through Friday in the Cambodia town area. I am a NLP graduate, 2018. I think Vit, you was one of them with me. And I also commit time with the Midtown Business Improvement District, Cambodia Town Inc., and Cambodian Coordinating Council. Once a year, there's the Cambodian New Year's event that happens. For the past 2 years, I was the event coordinator for that event.
Thank you, Linda. Next person is Tyler. Tyler, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what organization you're affiliated with.
Currently, I am a student at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. I am in my second semester as a master's student in forensic psychology. I just acquired my drug and alcohol license, so that was a milestone that I'm very proud of. I am also an NLP graduate, 2017. Hey, you know, that's the year. And you know, somehow we all stick together and do good work within our communities. You know, I'm also associated with Justice for Murdered Children, and they're doing the good work as well. So I'm just glad to be a part of the panel tonight, and thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. Yeah, the next person we have Felicia. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Felicia Cade. I am a poet, author, a community activist, and I'm grateful to be here to be a part of such an important conversation at a pivotal time in history. So thank you for having me.
So I have my buddy here, Dusty.
I'm Dusty Stiggers, community activist, leadership 2017, executive producer of City News, and just all-around community supporter.
Thank you, Dusty. My name is Vit. I'm a host. I am an ex-wheelchair athlete. I stopped competing, and after that, I became a life coach and a health consultant, health advocate. In 2018, I also graduated from NLP. After that, I see various lack in the community, and I try to volunteer and help out. And also here it is, my co-host, Jenny Lee.
Hi, I am Jenny Lee. I'm the co-host. I've been doing episodes here with Vit for several weeks now. I'm also part of the In Your City News since 2017, as well as the Neighborhood Leadership Program. I have been part of many volunteer opportunities within the city. I also had the opportunity to provide yoga practice within the school district with Bernie Elementary School, and then there's Milliken High School as well.
Okay, thank you. Welcome once again, everyone. I'll talk about aftermath of the Black Lives Matter protest. And we have the community leader here to discuss. Let's start off with Linda. What does a meaningful change look like in the town of Cambodia?
Well, I mean, just meaningful change in general is something different from what's already, going on. So, let's say there's something that we've done traditionally, maybe improvise or add on to it, perfect it.
Okay, thank you. Felicia K., I know you travel the world. You went to London, and I just want to know, what is policing like in London? There and here.
There's a difference. Well, the first difference is that the patrol officers in London do not carry guns. And because of that, their conflict resolution skills and their ability to de-escalate situations quickly are well polished. And that is the biggest difference that I saw between our officers here that sometimes have a difficult time de-escalating situations. I think, as well as, the guns are illegal in the UK as well. So, but I thought what I saw that was my experience with the officers, they were friendly. They were very helpful. They de-escalated. I saw them de-escalate high risk situations very quickly and very easily. So I was really pleased with my experience there, that it was definitely being a lot more pleasant than my experience and from the things that I've seen from our police officers.
Yes, and we're moving on to Tyler. I know a psych major, Tyler, so I would like to know how can this experience affect mental health and how can they cope with it?
Well, right now it's a challenge, with all that's going on, especially in the mental health field. If you look within our society, if you look at just how our police officer and our fire department have been affected, almost every 2 blocks you see somebody pulled over is somebody within the mental health, some dealing with a mental health issue. And it's pretty hard for us to get, some of these guys the help they need because of the stigmatism, that they get from society. They don't want to come forward and get it because of the perception that they will, get from the others in their community. And, coming from the African American community, a lot of times we try to hold ourselves to a certain standard, we don't want to be seen, looked at as weak. So we'll, hold our feelings down, and that's going to, escalate our mental health. So a lot of it, we got a lot of work to do.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Okay.
All right, so we get into the next question. We'll start off with Linda. So Linda, what does equality mean or look like to you as a Cambodian woman?
I cannot speak on all Cambodian women. I can only speak on what my truth. So being a Cambodian woman, to me, equality would mean regardless of our skin color, regardless of our gender, we should just treat each other with respect. We come into this world the same way, and when we pass on to another life, we go the same way, when we're 6 feet under. So, and then regardless of our financial status, whether we're making buku money or making little money, we all have to respect each other equally. If we are experiencing homelessness, we still have to provide respect and community.
Felicia, I know you did mention you visited London for quite some time.
I think they're onto something out there. My experience out there with racism was very, not to say that it doesn't exist, because if you go there, they'll tell you it does exist, it's just more covert. But my experience there it was very minimal. And I think that's because their perception of race is a lot broader. You could run across somebody white in London and you can't just assume that they're just white. They could be from Poland, they could be from Lithuania, they could be from Russia. So everybody there is more cultured. Even all the Black people that I ran across there, they all knew where they were from, either from Nigeria, Ghana, or Jamaica. And so when you are in such a melting pot and you just have such a duplicity of culture, of race, and it's almost like first generation experiences, it really, you really just see how immature we are and how uneducated we are when it comes to race and culture, how we limit race to just, 5 cultures, and a majority of that is washed down because most of us are, second, third generation or so forth and so on, so I think it's, I think we have a lot to learn about race and culture in America.
The question for you, Tyler, would be what type of impact is left on the future generation?
Well, if you see what's going on right now, they're standing up. They've had enough, and they're not just going to sit back no more. They're ready to fight. They've had enough. How can you say it's been a systematic imbalance for years? And the youngsters are starting to feel like, hey, I'm giving you guys everything I can, and enough is not good enough. So what else is there for us to do? So you see what's going on in the streets, you see what's going on around the world. People are tired, unless we have change, it's just going to keep on getting worse and worse and worse. And, the sad part is that they're trying to make everything about this rioting, and there's no blueprint and no set of rules to say how somebody's going to protest, because, people are enraged, and, with rage, comes reaction. It might not be the right reaction, but it happened.
Linda, how did you handle the civil unrest in Cambodian town?
I do security patrol the Cambodia town area. The day that it happened, it was on a Sunday, so I'm off duty. I was just kind of getting this like, okay, something just does not feel right. So I said, I need to get out there. I need to get in my own car and just take a look around what's going on in Cambodia town. So as I go out there and I'm observing, and it just hurt because the protests and everything was just kind of, it seemed like it was just happened simultaneously. It just really hurt because you can see, orchestrated to where it was about 20, 15, 30 people tackling one business just to get in, get what they need, jump in vehicles, and the vehicles that I left in front of these businesses were at least 10 to 15 vehicles deep or even more. And then they move along, go to the next target location that they want to hit, you know? It was so sad because at any given moment, you know, I could have been in danger because I was watching it happen. There's a business that they hired a security guard, maybe about 10 or 15 of them. One of them pulled up when I was sitting in their lot, and he was like, "Who is you?" And I said, "Hey, hold up." I said, "Hold up, I patrol here during the day. Don't do nothing to me," you know? So then I kept proving to him, and I was getting phone calls from businesses, and they were just like, "Hey, Linda, what's going on with my business?" I said, "Look, you know, your business was hit. So if you can come down here, take care of your business, because, you know, the next day I do have to work, and there's nothing that I could do at the moment to help. I don't have materials to help board up your business."
Yes.
So it was
Yes.
hurtful.
Well,
Very-
I want to commend you. You did a great job out there because I grew up in the 90s, the 92, and that area was a mess. But this time it was better than before. So I'm glad that Cambodia Town have a shop, a supermarket for the people to go to. I did check a couple damages store with you, so only a few that was damaged. So thank you for patrolling the community. Okay, next question for you is what type of impact is left on the future generation of what happened?
I think something about this for the Black community, it hit us differently. Something about George's death had such a ripple and such a deep impact on us that I think it moved a lot of us, and it shook us to the core and moved us into action. And so because of that, I think not just even us, our community, I think it moved the world into the action, and I think it exposed, we're in a very revealing time, and it exposed really the racism in America, racism and the colorism, not just for Black folks, but all folks, and also exposed the culture of policing that has been a danger to civilians as well as other police officers, making their job more difficult and less respected. So I think that the impact of these protests, I think they're going to change how they started the conversation on racism in America. I think it's going to change for the better of policing, for the better of the generation coming under us, who won't have to suffer from the same stereotypes perpetuated by our culture. And so I think it's going to mature us. I think it hurt a little bit, you know, and I feel really bad for some of the businesses that were hit, but I mean, even some of the businesses that painted the murals on, this is my first time seeing a protest where murals were painted on the board. So you could see that even through the pain and the fear of their businesses getting attacked, they understood the emotion behind the movement. So I think it's going to have a beautiful impact on the next generation.
Yes, definitely.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Tyler, the next question I'm interested to hear is what is the police brutality plan? Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah. Now, as Alicia was just sitting there talking about prejudice, this is how you can sit here and see how some of these foundations been set up to systematically profit off of the inner city, you know, lower SES community. As one of my professors always say, we're unequally resourced. What police brutality does is that they take out these bonds because they know that that the police department is not going to have enough money to pay for some of these cases when they settle out of court. So what they do, Wall Street is making a lot of money off of us taxpayers. Actually, 2010 to 2017, they made $82 million off of the citizens of LA. And I think that's outrageous for us to be being victimized by the police department and then have to clean up and pay for the cases and their actions. I think that if they sit here and do these actions, they should be held accountable. That's where the stem of everything is at right now. It has to be some accountability for something. You know, one thing that I'm liking that I'm seeing is that they're reopening some of these cases. Several officers who got off, you know, are now then got rearrested for some of the police brutality cases. So I'm loving that. you know, so it's something to see. So I'm just hoping for the best, you know, and I don't want it to just like be another phase where we protest for nothing. And then after so many days, it just, you know, it just was a fad. I don't want to see that. I want it to continue to progress, and I want these youngsters, you know, to have a desire to, you know, feel that we're equal, because we are. You know, we're all equal. You know, we all, you know, come together as a whole, and then that's how we strive together. I love all y'all. You know, my brother Dusty right there, NLP, Inner City News. I love you. Jenna Lee, Linda Reese been blowing up my little town. Vit, my boy. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all for having me tonight.
Yeah, we love you too. Thank you, Tyler. That's very insightful. Okay, Jenna Lee, back to you.
So next question. So this question is going to go for each and every one of our individuals, lovely individuals in our panel here. If you were to pick a word to describe yourself, what would that be and why? So we'll start with Linda.
I would say resilient. I mean, any one of us is resilient. We've gone through obstacles, you know, we pick ourselves back up. So I guess I'd like to say resilient for all of us. Not just
love. I think that love is the moving force behind any change, internally and externally. And if you don't have that, then you don't have a chance at making any meaningful change. So I'm going to go with love.
Encouragement. Well, where I came from and where I'm at today, it's a long journey. A lot of people didn't think I would do it. You know, a lot of people gave up on me. I was even told by one of my best friend's mom that I wouldn't amount to be nothing. And here I'm on my way, almost about to be a doctor. So I look at her and say, hey, you know, can't nobody tell me nothing. I know who I am. So, you know, I want to keep on continuing and encourage anybody I can. Yeah, we gonna make it.
Dr. Baldwin, is it?
Awesome, Dr. Baldwin. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm honored. Yes.
That's
My goal would be fire, just because I'm the energy behind a lot of stuff. So I gotta keep it burning.
Hey. I see you.
Hey, thank you. Yes. Well, mine is always gonna be add value. I love to add value to anyone that I come across with. If I can add value to a little bit, if I can, you know, say some powerful word or some word that can inspire them, that's what I would do. How are you, Genevieve?
Peace. Yeah. Just to be peace with one another, continue being that role model that we need to make that change in this world. Just continue being me and just being peace with one another and uniting myself with different backgrounds, different cultures, and just hopefully people I can continue to be that role model for the younger generation and forever to come.
Thank you, Genevieve. Well, let's start with Linda. Last question. Is anything that I failed to ask that you would like to add?
You know, there's not much I like to add, but, you know, let's be hopeful and resilient and trust the process. Yes. And continue to respect and love one another.
Okay, Felicia K.
I just want to say that I think that I'm from Long Beach. I'm repping Long Beach all day, LBC. And I want to say that with us being growing up in one of the most diverse cities, I think that we have an opportunity to create a change. I think that can be replicated throughout the earth, you know. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we tackle this, how we come together, and how we move forward and build from this.
Dr. Baldwin.
I just want to say once again, thank you everybody for having me. You know, it's been a pleasure. We got a lot of work to do. So we got to continue to pull people in through our NLP family. You know, we got to give a shout out to NLP. Let's continue to do the good work.
Well, thank you everyone for coming to the show. Thank you. It's been fun. It's sad to come to an end now. I would like to let the viewer know and everyone in the panel that we all brother and sister. We all come from the same family of struggle and pain. Hang in there to continue on showing the love for one another and care for one another. at the end of the day, we all brothers and sisters in the time. Thank you for watching a Building Wellness show in collaboration with In Your City News, which bring a peace news to our community. And everyone, be safe out there. Thank you. That's it. Have anything to add? NLP!
Hey.
All right.